All right, y'all. Today I'm going to be taking you on a ride through the Fullerton mini loop. I know there's plenty of trail guides that show you how to get through the actual Fullerton loop, the full 11 to 12 mile loop. Haven't seen too many on the mini loop, so thought this might be helpful for those that want to get a quick ride in that's about half the distance as the regular loop. Maybe you want to avoid a lot of the major climbs that you'll find throughout the loop, still hit some of the fun parts of the trail. So if that's the case for you, then this trail guide is for you. To start, you'll park at the main parking lot of the Fullerton courthouse. You'll see it here, very vast, plenty of parking. If you see a lot of folks loading and unloading their bikes, you'll know you're in the right place. But to start, if you're facing the courthouse, you'll want to make a 180-degree turn, look straight ahead, and that is your trailhead to start your loop for either the mini loop or the regular Fullerton loop. So we're gonna ride there and get this started. All right, so once you're on the trailhead, you'll want to make a right, or I guess head west on this main trail for probably about, I don't know, quarter to half of a mile or so. And what I'll do is along the way, I'll put some text over the video that shows you all the major roads that I'm crossing, trails that I'm taking for this Fullerton mini loop, and we'll sort of track the trail that way. And the reason I wanted to make this Fullerton mini loop trail guide was because a few weeks ago I had a buddy that I wanted to take on a ride and wanted to take him on the Fullerton loop, but not take him on the full loop itself. It's, you know, the Fullerton loop's about 12 miles long. It's a little bit long for somebody that's riding for the first time, and wanted to find a way to avoid all of the major climbs but still give them an opportunity to ride some of the fun parts of the loop. And so I think I figured out a mini loop trail that will serve that purpose. All right, we're gonna cross this street here. There's two of them that we'll cross. I'll put the name of the street in the little text box. All right, so once we cross the street, we're going to continue on to this main trail. If you're familiar with the loop, you'll know that this is the main trail. There's also some extra credit off to my right that I'm going to take in a second. There's a lot of extra credit throughout this trail. You'll still get to hit a bunch of it, even on this mini loop trail, so I'll be sure to point that out throughout the video. All right, we're gonna cross our second street here, continue on to the trail like we normally would for the loop. I'm gonna take this little extra credit that these Hster riders are taking. Yep, you can see some wet spots there. All right. At this point, we are arriving at the Hster trail. We're gonna make a left. This is gonna take us down on course for the regular loop. Some little extra credit up here. All right, we're gonna cross the street again, continue on to the Hster trail. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but you got the idea. You can take the main trail to the right. I'm gonna take the single track to the left, which is a lot of fun. So like I said, you'll still get the opportunity to hit a lot of the fun parts of the loop, even in this mini loop trail. For those that may have noticed from my other videos, I am on a different mountain bike. I ended up ditching the electric X-Peak 2.0 that I had. Or I shouldn't say I ditched it, I still have it, but it is no longer being used as my mountain bike. It is now just a commuter bike that's gonna be a spare that I have in case I want to run to the grocery store. If you're wondering why I ditched that as my mountain bike, you can head back and watch my other videos and that'll answer some questions. And you know what, maybe I'll make a video on the bike that I ended up getting, which is the Giant Trans X E+3. So a significant upgrade versus what I had, and I can already feel a big difference riding this in comparison to that electric X-Peak adventure bike that I had. But more on that later. All right, after you exit that single track, we are going to come up on Euclid, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is where you're going to cut your loop in half. Instead of continuing on to the trail like we normally would for the regular loop, we're going to make a right, head west, I believe, all the way up and down Euclid until we hit Laguna Lake, which is about half the distance, maybe a little more than half the distance of the full loop. So we're gonna head up Euclid, take this all the way down, watch out for cars. You know what I'll do is I'll put a map of the regular Fullerton Loop in comparison to this mini loop so you can see just how much shorter this mini loop is. And again, the mini loop is great for people that maybe just want to get a quick ride in. They don't have the time that's needed to do a full 11 to 12 miles that the Fullerton Loop offers. Or maybe you're just a beginner starting out. You want to avoid a lot of those big climbs that are found throughout the regular Fullerton Loop and still have some fun. But yeah, you're going to avoid a lot of the major climbs here, cut your loop in half, still end up at the courthouse, and still have a lot of fun. All right, after you take Euclid for about a mile or so, you're gonna come up on Laguna Road. And this is where the regular Fullerton Loop sort of connects back to this part of the mini loop where Laguna Lake is. So you'll come up on Laguna Road, hit a right, and voila, you are now at Laguna Lake. So obviously, we're cutting out a good chunk of the Fullerton Loop. Ends up being about half the distance, maybe a little more, but you still get to ride a lot of the fun parts. So as we come up on Laguna Lake, you can hit all the single track on the way there, or the regular trail down to the left if you don't feel like climbing. And you'll still get the benefit of riding through Laguna Lake, hitting the golf course, the trail that runs alongside the golf course. But for now, we're gonna head to the lake, and I'll catch up with you there. All right, now crossing into Laguna Lake. We'll be on here for a little bit until we start getting closer to the train tracks. Might throw my bell on, let people know I'm coming. All right, we're gonna cross the street one more time. We're gonna head up to the railroad tracks, make a right here. I'm gonna take some of this extra credit. Go have some fun. All right, we cross this hole, whatever you want to call it. I know you're headed in the right direction. getting closer and closer to those railroad tracks. I like to take this little extra credit up here, some fun single track. Hi, doggy. All right, we're gonna cross this little bridge, hit a sharp left, and then we'll head towards the railroad tracks. All right. Not too bad. Thought the railroad tracks would be a lot muddier than they actually are. All right, as we near the next turn, you're gonna make a sharp right towards the golf course. It can be a little hard to catch that, so try to pay attention to where I hit that turn alongside the railroad tracks. But it's about, I don't know, 2 minutes in. You'll see the golf course on your right, so just don't forget to make that sharp right. All right, and we're gonna cross the street. Try not to get hit by any cars. And we're gonna continue on alongside the golf course. If you see this yellow vehicle entry gate, you're in the right place. All right, this next part is one of my favorite parts of the loop. You have a few options of different single tracks you can take. We'll see what I end up doing, but this is essentially going to take us back down to the tunnel, which sort of closes out the loop. There's still some more single track after that point, but we're going to take this for now and then catch up down at the tunnel. Close one. All right, at this point you'll see, take this real quick. You'll see that we are now at the tunnel portion of the loop. You're gonna take this left tunnel to continue on. Follow the trail along to the left and we'll keep it moving. All right, I like to take some of the extra credit single track that follows along the creek, so I'm gonna do that. Some fun stuff in here if you're willing to explore. Little bridge. Fun. All right, so at this point, you can head to the left. There's some more single track up there. It gets pretty technical. If you're doing this mini loop for the purpose of having an easier, flowy ride, you might want to avoid that section and just stay on the main road. And that's what I'll do today, just to keep things moving. All right, if you continue on to this fire road, this gravel road, you'll be headed in the right direction. And then you'll see that biker just went right. We're gonna keep going straight to head back to the courthouse. And then you'll see trail continues up on the right. We're gonna take that. This is a little bit of a technical downhill, but just ride the brakes, you'll be okay. wrap around, bunny, and we're gonna head a left into this parking lot here for the golf course, which will take us alongside either Brea Road or Harbor, whatever the case. I'll put it in the little text description here, but you'll loop around and this will take us back up to the courthouse where we parked. And here we go. Stay on this road all the way to the end, and we'll cross the street, end up at the courthouse. But as you can see, that loop is pretty darn quick, that mini loop. I did it, granted I'm on an e-bike, I did it in probably 30 minutes or so, maybe a little more, but it's not bad. So again, if you want a shorter version of the loop, just to get a quick ride in, have a little bit of fun, maybe you're with some buddies that don't want to do the climbs or aren't able to do those climbs that you'll find throughout the loop, this is a good little option for you to consider. All right, coming up on Brea Boulevard on the left, and I want to cross a little crosswalk here. We're going to cross Harbor onto West Valley View, and that'll take us up to the courthouse where we parked. All right, let's cross the street, and yeah, what we'll do is make a left right here on this first street where you see the blue car hitting the left out of. We're just gonna cross the street, watch out for cars. I think I'm all clear over here. And yeah, on the right hand side is the courthouse. You'll see the parking lot in a second. And that's the mini loop, ladies and gentlemen. What I may actually do, because that was so short, is now get another ride in and hit the full loop. We'll see. But here we are. Go ahead and make a right into the main parking lot for the courthouse, and we are back. So hope that was helpful. And if you decide to do the mini loop, hopefully this serves as a helpful guide. All right, y'all, take care.